All right, today we're going to dive into a framework that's not just about feeling good for a moment. It's about building real, genuine mental strength from the ground up. It's called the 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. And honestly, it might just completely change the way you see yourself.
So, let's just kick things off with the big one, a question that sits right at the heart of this whole idea. Is your mind your boss, or is it your servant? Your answer to this really dictates whether you're just drifting through life on autopilot, or if you're the one actually steering the ship. And you can really see the 2 paths you can take right here. The untrained mind, well, it's kind of all over the place. It reacts automatically, letting your feelings run the show. But a trained mind, that's a different story. It operates with intention. It lets you hit the pause button, decide consciously, and build that kind of inner strength that keeps you confident even when life gets messy.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you train your mind? The key is to think about it in the exact same way you think about physical fitness. This isn't about being born with some special talent. It's a skill. You're literally building mental muscle, 1 rep at a time.
This whole framework is built on 3 main ideas, and we're going to start with the absolute foundation. These are the pillars of awareness, and they're all about one thing: making that shift from just reacting unconsciously to making conscious choices.
So building that foundation, it really boils down to 2 key practices: living consciously, which is all about paying attention, and self-assertiveness, which is about actually honoring what you find when you do. Let's break them down. First up is living consciously. And really, all this means is yanking yourself out of autopilot. Instead of just letting life happen to you, you're present. You're in the moment. You're the one making the deliberate calls with your conscious mind, not, all that old programming running in the background.
And this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of it. Being present isn't some passive thing you just fall into. It's an active, conscious practice. It's a choice you're actively making over and over every single day.
Now, the second pillar of awareness is self-assertiveness. And let's be clear, this isn't about being pushy or aggressive. It's about being authentic. It's the practice of honoring what you want, what you need, and what you value, and then having the courage to express your true self to the world.
Okay, so once you're aware of what's going on in your head and who you really are, what do you do with that information? Well, that brings us to our next set of pillars: ownership. This is where you stop just watching your inner world and you start taking full control of it.
The 2 practices that build this ownership are self-acceptance and self-responsibility. And listen, I really want you to tune in for this part, because getting these 2 down, it's the key to unlocking some serious personal freedom.
So what exactly is self-acceptance? Look, it's basically the practice of being on your own team. It means valuing yourself without judgment, refusing to be an enemy to yourself, even when you're looking back on past mistakes or tough times.
And this is the kind of stuff we're talking about. I mean, can you imagine actually saying this to yourself? Treating yourself with the same respect and encouragement you'd give to someone you really care about? That's the heart of self-acceptance.
All right, next up, self-responsibility. And this one's a biggie. It's the understanding that at the end of the day, you are in the driver's seat of your life. You are responsible for your actions, your choices, and, your own happiness.
And look, this quote says it all. This is the bottom line, right? No coach, no book, no video can do the work for you. Guidance is great, but you are the only one who can actually change your life. That power and that responsibility, it's all yours.
Okay, so we've built our awareness, we've taken ownership, now for the final, and I mean crucial step, taking action. This is where all that internal work starts to show up in the real world. These last 2 pillars are what allow you to build a life that actually feels meaningful.
The last 2 pillars are living purposefully. That's what gives you your why, and personal integrity, which is what keeps you walking the talk. Let's see how they work.
Living purposefully is the exact opposite of just drifting through life. You're actually setting goals, and even more important, you're creating an identity for yourself that totally backs up those goals. That identity becomes the compass for all your daily actions.
Here's a perfect example of what I mean. It's so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. If you're a student, you don't just try hard. You create the identity, I am a good student. Suddenly, every choice you make just flows from that identity. It makes saying no to distractions way easier. And finally, we have personal integrity. You can think of this as the glue that holds the entire thing together. It's about deciding what your personal standards are, what you truly stand for, and then making damn sure your actions line up with them. It's being true to your word, especially the words you say to yourself.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second.
We've gone through each pillar one by one, but the real magic happens when you see how they all work together. Let's look at the complete path to growth they create when you integrate them.
So here they are, all together. Living consciously, self-acceptance, self-responsibility, self-assertiveness, living purposefully, and personal integrity. Now remember, this isn't just some checklist you run through. It's a deeply connected system. It's a blueprint for building a foundation inside yourself that is absolutely unshakable.
So, you might be asking, what's the payoff for all this work? Well, we're not just talking about little tweaks here and there. The potential we're talking about is exponential growth, like a 10x shift in your confidence, your effectiveness, and your happiness. It's a complete transformation from the inside out.
And all of this really leaves us with one last question. Because this isn't just some cool theory, right? It's a call to action. If you really committed to building these pillars in your own life, starting today, who could you become?